second section, one of my favorite areas around the Austin area out by Lake Travis. We haven't really talked about Lakeway previously. And I tell you what, Lakeway Texas is one of the sort of secrets of Central Texas. If you don't live down here and you haven't been down here, it's one of the first things you hear about, especially if you've made your way out to look at Lake Travis and you see, like in that second picture, all the houses along the lake. And I know that when I've worked with relocating clients, Lakeway tends to be on everybody's list because of the golf course and a number of other amenities, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. I haven't sold much out of the Lakeway. I mean, that's something that's a little too far for me. It's not a 45-minute drive.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and it's certainly, you know, right in my backyard. I live out near the Hill Country Galleria, so it's right down the highway, Ranch Road 620 for me from Highway 71. And one of the things I'd say about Lakeway is it's different than the master plan communities. And I want this just for a lot of these relocating people that listen to our podcast. Lakeway is unique in that it's a golf course community on Lake Travis, and you've got very heterogeneous housing stock. Most of it's single family. You do have the Lakeway Inn and Resort there with the marina, but you have a lot of property, everything from lakefront to golf course to housing that is very different than if you were to go into Circle C or Avery Ranch, where you've got 2 or 3 builders or 4 builders that do the majority of the build out, and the neighborhood is very suburban. Lakeway is known for things like a massive deer population because it's heavily landscape with large trees and bushes and a lot of green belts. And it's a nice bedroom community. I know you haven't sold a lot out there. I certainly have. And I can tell you what, if people are looking for that type of a neighborhood area where every house doesn't look the same, it definitely makes it on a folks' list. And if you look at the median price, it's only slightly higher than what we talked about in Circle C.
Right.
It's quite a bit higher than Avery Ranch. It's only slightly higher than what we talked about right down Ranch Road 620 in Canyon Creek. Now, there's some very expensive homes that get sold in Lakeway on the lake. Don't get me wrong, but the median is just over $350,000. So let's talk about area sales year to date. Lakeway, Texas, $68 million versus $58 million. So it's up just under $10 million. It's almost a 17% increase.
Right.
This is just like most of the markets that we've been reporting on year over year. They're very strong compared to where they were a year ago. And this is driven by the economy, by the job market, by the fact that if you went out a year ago, you saw many people that were not comfortable enough to purchase. Many people were not moving into the market. We certainly had in-migration, but not at the level we do now. And as a result, it's driving not only the sales year to date, but in Lakeway you look at 169 units or homes sold versus 144. That's up even higher. That's almost an 18% increase. It's 17.6 year over year. That's a pretty big increase in units sold through the end of August.
Absolutely.
And as you would expect in a tight market like we have with low interest rates, 49 days on market for things sold versus 60. That's a 18% decrease. That's exactly what you'd expect when you have a market that's accelerating. And we already talked about the median price of homes sold.
Yeah, it seems like all the different areas are trending along the same increase levels too. We try to talk about a different area every week, but they all seem to be trending up over 15%. Prices are up in all the areas. I think that's another good indicator that we are in a great market, especially if you're selling right now.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a market where you have to adjust your expectations if you're a buyer, but as a seller, a well-priced home will receive multiple offers and sell quickly. And you're hearing less than you did 9 months ago about appraisal issues. They're still out there. They're still out there, but they're certainly less than we had if you were looking at the market 9 months ago when it started to run. And this is due to the fact that we've got enough sales in 2012 of like-kind property that the appraisers can actually work with it. So if you're thinking about Lakeway, Texas, you're certainly looking at a market that allows for a lot of different options. Doesn't matter if you're looking at a $350,000 property or a $4 million house on the lake. They're out there. They're very, very unique. You get everything from Tuscan-style, monstrous, grand homes on the lake to some sort of modern, traditional homes that are built into the trees back in the golf course communities.